The Public Service Commission of the District of Columbia is spreading the word about utility scams and how to protect yourself, your family, and your community. Hi, I'm Emile Thompson, Chairman of the DC Public Service Commission. Today I'm joined by James Pittman of Pepco. James is the Region Vice President for Governmental and External Affairs. Thank you for joining me today, James.
Thank you, Chairman Thompson. I appreciate being here.
Tell us a little bit about Pepco. What are your missions, your goals? What are the things you guys focus on?
Absolutely. So, as you know, Pepco is an electric utility here in the District of Columbia. We also service territories in Montgomery County, Maryland, and Prince George's County, Maryland. We have a big focus right now on climate change. As you know, in your leadership here at the Public Service Commission, that is the main goal here in the District of Columbia, to make sure we reach our climate goals. Another goal is to make sure we protect our consumers and our residents and our businesses here in the district. And that's why partnerships like this are very important to us. We also want to be known as a good neighbor in the communities that we serve. With that, we have a lot of outreach with regards to community stakeholders. I'm proud to report last year we've had a direct input with $3.2 million servicing a lot of these folks in the communities, just to make sure that we are seen as not only electric utility, but also a good neighbor in the communities we serve.
Speaking of protecting the customers, what are you guys seeing in the area of utility scams?
We've seen a big uptick in this. We're proud to report that one of the things that we've been a part of is Utilities United Against Scams. It's a coalition of over 100 utilities throughout the United States and Canada. And we share a lot of information, not just with us, but also with outside stakeholders, the Office of Attorney General, the Mayor's Office, Office of People's Counsel, and others, just to make sure we get all the information we can. And we're seeing a big uptick, particularly with regards to the pandemic. So people are getting a lot more phone calls and a lot of fraudulent phone calls. And the challenge we've seen is a lot of these perpetrators are stepping up their sophistication with regards to these scams. A lot of them have been able to manipulate caller IDs to make it appear as though Pepco is calling them. A lot of them are even simulating our hold calls, our hold music when they call folks. So one of the things we just want to make sure we get across when we talk to folks is, if you have any indication, or not even an indication, if you have any sort of feeling that something may be off, just hang the phone up. You won't have any adverse impact from us, and call 202-833-7500. Contact us and let us know what happened. We can confirm whether or not that was a real Pepco call. And if it wasn't, we could take actions on our behalf to make sure, and on your behalf, more importantly, to make sure that things are done to that does not happen again.
Okay. Are there certain demographics that the scammers are targeting?
What we're seeing a lot more recently is businesses are being targeted, mainly because the higher dollar amounts. And also what we're seeing is communities where English is the second language, particularly our Latinx, Latino communities. We've seen an uptick in reports of fraudulent calls, mostly because when someone has English as a second language, it's a little bit more difficult to discern whether or not it's a real call or not. So that's a big challenge we've seen, particularly in the last couple of years.
Okay. What are some good tips to protect consumers against these scammers?
So if you get a call, make sure you monitor the number and write down the number that called you. If you have any sort of concern, even if it's something that you really can't put your finger on, you just have a gut feeling, hang up. We will not have any adverse impact on you. You will not get your service disconnected. And call us either on the number you see on your bill. You can go to our website, or if you're listening to this, obviously 202-833-7500. Tell us the number that called you, because there's things we could do on the back end that we really don't talk about. We work with security teams to make sure that those are addressed. But we also just want to make it clear that that these folks don't have a place here in the District of Columbia. That's why these partnerships and collaborations with your leadership in the Public Service Commission and others are greatly important to get this word out.
In addition to what you're doing now to help, educate the consumer about scams, what does Pepco see coming down the line in terms of what they can do to help assist customers in making sure that these people aren't falling victim to scams?
That's a great question. So one of the things we're doing is we're increasing our mailings. When we send out mails to bills, we know that goes out to every customer we serve. So make sure we put in leaflets and warnings with regards to these scams. Also, we're going to take more proactive steps with regards to collaborations with the mayor's office, the council, Office of Attorney General, Public Service Commission, Office of People's Counsel, to make sure we get the word out. That's the key, is make sure people are aware that these scams are happening and how they can address them. That's why I think I can't underestimate the importance of making sure that we have outreach into the communities.
James, what about some of the red flags that customers should look for when it comes to email phishing, email scams?
That's a great question. I'm glad you asked that. One of the things that we've seen is an uptick in email phishing. And what that is, for people who don't know, is you'll get an email that may appear as though it comes from an official site, let's say Pepco, but something's a little off in the email address. But what they want you to do is click on a link, and from there they could steal all sorts of information from you, as well as solicit illegal payments. If you get an email like that, we do not send those out. Feel free to, once again, call us at 202-833-7500 and report that email address to us. And we can work on our back end to try to make sure those people are held accountable for that, as well as ensure that you're protected.
Okay. So if I get an email from Pepco, or it's supposed to be from Pepco, and it says, click here for more information, that's a red flag.
It can be.
Okay.
So, but the one thing I want to take away, if you have any doubt at all, feel free to call us. You will not have any sort of negative impact or adverse action with regard to your account if you just call us if you receive anything that you find questionable.
Well, James, I want to thank you for being here today. I think you shared a lot of great information. Before we end, I just want to give you an opportunity, in case we missed anything, if there's anything additional you wanted to say, or make sure that customers knew or know.
Absolutely. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk to customers, to talk to businesses and residents here in the District of Columbia, to make sure we get this word out. The one thing I just want to leave with, if you get a call, or if somebody comes to your door and say they're from Pepco, if someone comes to your door, make sure that they have a badge. It should be a Pepco badge with their face and ID number. Call 202-833-7500 and confirm whether or not this person is a Pepco employee before you open the door or do any sort of service with this person. Same thing with calls. If you get a call, even if you do believe it's from Pepco, but you have any sort of concern, hang up. Just hang up and call us back. We'll confirm whether or not that was a real call. And please write down the number that was called from, and we'll make sure we take action on our end as well.
Thank you, James. For more information and resources, please visit the DCPSC's website at fightutiliscams.com.